Joining me right now to discuss CivicForumPAC founder Ford O'Connell and former D.C. DNC chair Scott Bolden.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm going to start first with you, Scott.
Wow.
What took so long?
Yeah, really.
I am.
What took so long in regard to what?
To actually see him resign. I mean, this stuff came out weeks ago. We've been looking at that picture.
Well, he's certainly
putting his hands up against a woman's chest while she's sleeping.
What it appeared
for a while.
That's what it appeared to be, and he certainly wasn't a sitting senator when that took place. I'm not sure what took so long in the sense that he's
Does that matter?
due process.
I mean, do you think it actually matters?
Really...
He became a senator. He is a senator, and this photo exists.
Bad behavior is bad behavior, but he certainly didn't bring ill repute, if you will, to the Senate when those actions were taking place. He's also entitled to due process. I mean,
we've had woman after woman come out, and he doesn't sound like a very stand-up guy.
Well, listen, he's resigned, and he agreed to have the Ethics Committee take a look at it. I mean, my goodness, when you talk about time, I mean, we can talk about why there have been so many delays in a lot of political forums, but the fact of the matter is that the Democrats are purging these bad actors, and I must tell you, the Republicans are protecting their bad actors in Donald Trump and Moore, as well as Farenthold. So, but stay tuned, because they're certainly going to get their time in the spotlight, because to have credibility on purging this bad behavior, the Republicans and the Democrats are going to have to do away with all the bad actors.
Trish, let me say this. Look, Democrats forcing out Al Franken was hardly a profile in political courage. It was an easy call. They lose nothing politically. They get to appoint a Democrat to that seat. This is nothing more than a political stunt designed to make the GOP look bad should Roy Moore win the election next week.
Tell me
and
about
obviously, hold on, and obviously they want to keep the heat on Donald Trump. They want to reset and try to take the moral high ground and reinvoke the same old playbook they run over and over, and that is the Republicans have a war on women. We know what's going on. It's as old as time.
I agree with every word you said, and you know what? That's a good thing. So how do you reconcile that with supporting Moore, Farenthold, and Donald Trump?
Let me jump in. In fairness to Ford, this is what he says you guys are trying to do. And at the top of the show, I said, you know, I hate to be a cynic, but you guys had plenty of opportunities with other bad actors, Bill Clinton included, and you never took those opportunities to call them out. In fact, if anything, I think that feminism and its term has been, you know, taken hold of by Hollywood and the left. And if you aren't a Democrat, if you don't fit their profile, you're not a feminist. So I question it, because the feminists were all for Bill Clinton and not about protecting this young girl who, I don't care what you say, he took advantage of her. So, Scott, it's convenient for you now.
Talk about the GOP.
No, but Scott,
you had this opportunity.
I agree with everything my colleagues said about the Democrats. I agree. Now let's talk about the GOP.
No, we will talk about the GOP.
Let's talk about it right now. Let's talk about it right now.
I'm going to give Ford the floor here. Go on, Ford.
The bottom line is the Democrats only care about this because they're not in power. We know sexual harassment's a problem, not just on Capitol Hill and Hollywood. It's a problem in workplaces across America. But here's what I do know. Look, I wish that Roy Moore had stepped aside, but the bottom line is I have to hold this seat because of the slim majorities. In the 73 years since World War II, only 7 years has Republicans controlled Congress and the White House. And given where the Democrats are on welfare reform, which you brought up earlier, Trish, and where they are on illegal immigration and jobs creations, guess what? By Roy Moore winning that seat and hopefully expelling him, we are actually putting country before country.
Wow. Trish, let me just say this. On national TV, my colleague just argued that he would rather have, and this president and others would rather have, an individual who has been accused by 6 or 9 women of preying on young girls and sexually abusing at least one. He would rather have that in the Senate.
That is not what I said. That is not what I said, Scott. You just twisted my words. I want to adjudicate the situation.
Hopefully expel him.
It's not what he said. He wants to be able to expel him. That's what he said.
Okay.
But he wants to preserve the policy that having the ability to have a Republican in that seat would bring. But this is what the talking point is going to be. Again, I'm a cynic at this point, and I know what you guys are doing. And I just look at it and say, and I remember when Bill Clinton stood and looked at all of us, myself included, in that TV and said, I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
And he was impeached
and he was lying.
Impeached.
And you know what? The Democrats didn't care. He's still up on a pedestal while her life is ruined. I mean, I just think if you really care about women, you would have taken a stand then. But it wasn't politically expedient to do so. And for some reason, in this environment, and I get it, but I just wish it's always been this way, now you're doing something, Scott.
I am still agreeing with you all. I agree with both of you all. But now let's talk about the GOP. You have a president who's been accused by 19 women of sexually abusing them, who on tape admitted that he abuses women, and is supporting Roy Moore. And we're going to take Roy Moore if he wins and hang it around the Republicans.
You know what? Wait, 2 points.
And you're never going to be able to get rid of Roy Moore.
Let me jump in. Ford, this is the reality, okay? You're going to have not just Scott out there saying that, but every single member of the Democratic Party saying, look, we got rid of Al Franken. We cleaned our house. Why haven't you cleaned yours? So
that's exactly what they're going to say.
This is what they're going to say. So how do you guys confront it?
Wait a minute. My response is the following. Guess what? It's too little, too late. And you're only doing this because you're out of power. You never cared about Bill Clinton. And with respect to Donald Trump, because I know where you want to take this, Scott, with respect to Donald Trump, the voters knew he wasn't an angel. They knew about the allegations. And they still put him in office.
Where are your ethics?
On that note, I want to go to a more somber moment.